So virtual disk. Okay, so I'm telling now on this. Okay, so virtual disk. So what is this virtual disk? Normally we have a physical disk. So I'm going to my physical machine only. DISKMGMT.MSC, right? Okay, I have a disk. Okay, actually I have a two disk. Two physical disks are there in my PC. Okay. So I open magnifier, but I don't know where it is gone. It just came now. Slow. If you see this one, this is a disk 0. Right click, it is showing converted to MBR. It means this disk is GPT disk. If you see, lot of partitions are there in this one, like this. Okay. So why? Because it's a GPT disk. Here it is. It is a convert into GPT. It means it's a MBR disk. It is a MBR disk. So this is a disk the partition. Only I made a three partition. Three are primary only. If I create a fourth partition, means if I make this one as a some unallocated and I want to create a fourth one, automatically the fourth one become extended partition directly, because from Windows Vista 7 onwards it is got changed like that. Okay. Now, so you can see disk 0, disk 1. Here I'm going to create some virtual hard disk. Going to action, create a VHD. Can you see this one, right? So again, this is a disk management action, create a VHD. So I click on create a VHD and it is showing where you want to create a VHD. This is a physical hard disk. Inside a physical space only, we can create virtual hard disk. It means for physical PC and for physical hard disk, the virtual hard disk is a file. Virtual hard disk is a file. For inside a virtual hard disk, it is like a disk only. So different formats are there: VHD and VHDX format, and fixed size and dynamically size. So while I do this one, I will show you that file and all kind of stuff and storing the data also. So this is my notepad, and then put it here like this. So move this one aside. Next, I'm going to my notepad also. So we can view both the things side by side. So I put a lot of big size. That's why. So virtual hard disk. It's a virtual hard disk formats are there. Format, not file system format. It is just a disk format only. So two type of disks are there. One is in the Microsoft we use VHD, VHDX. Different type of operating system, different type of technologies use different type of VHDX. Like VMware use VMDK kind of stuff like this. VMware. Okay, so VMware use virtual hard disk is VMDK. Okay, some technologies use VDI, virtual hard disk infrastructure. So VDI is a one another type of format. Dot VDI. So you have to tell dot kind of stuff, means data extension is there. Dot VDI. Okay. Uh, QCOW2 in a Linux base means KVM or QEMU virtualization technology use QCOW. Okay, so QCOW2 like CQCOW2. Okay, QEME virtual hard disk formats. Okay, different type of virtual formats are there: VMware, VMDK, Linux like this. VDI is also in a something in a few places, like Microsoft also use VDI. Okay, like this. Okay. So what is the difference between VHD and VHDX? VHD support up to 2 terabytes of disk we can able to create. Virtual hard disk we can create up to 2 terabytes, not more than 2 terabytes. Okay, it is showing a 2040 GB. Okay, 40 GB means less than 2 terabyte, little less than 2 terabyte. 2048 should be there, so GB it is showing. So up to means less than 2 terabytes only. Next, VHD support more more than 2 terabytes means you can use two less or more. You can use less also more, and in general it support up to 64 terabytes. So it is blocking again up to 64. Max size is 64 means support up to 64 terabytes. And VHDX format is available from if you are using Windows 8 or a 2012 server. I am putting 2012 only. Okay, from means 8, 8.1, 10, 2012, 2012 R2, 2016, 2019. So from this OSs, VHDX format is supporting. So okay, so if you have a other things, okay, so based on the different format. This is a Microsoft format. Okay, and different formats also available. Next, disk types, virtual hard disk types also there. What is this virtual hard disk type? Is a fixed disk, fixed size, and dynamically expanding. It's not a dynamic disk, it is a dynamically expanding. Dynamic disk is different, dynamically expanding is different. Dynamically expanding is different. So this is at types only. So what is this? Each one we have to write down from text only. Already I told guys. So we don't need any other things. Simply if you know this one, so you will get everything. Windows 10 has a one feature. You just click on this title box, drag into the last, and like this. See, this is called the split screen. Means one screen you can use 2 application, 3 application, 4 applications also. This is a split screen, and virtual disk also there. And where is this? Disk management, disk management, disk management. Where is the disk management? Okay, like this we can able to put both the things side by side, and also we can type from here also. So for me it is viewing, but for you maybe it is showing very small letters. So I'm looking at that one, I'm typing. Okay, virtual hard disk is created. So virtual hard disk file is allocated its maximum size when the virtual hard disk is created. Next, what is a dynamic disk? The virtual hard disk file grows to its maximum size as data is written to the virtual hard disk. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, so what is the dynamically expanding disk? Virtual hard disk file grows into the maximum size as data is written into the virtual hard disk. So here what it is, again I try to explain with my paint brush is not there now. So this is my physical hard disk. Think like it is a physical disk space. For example, it is 200 GB disk space. 200 GB. For example, E drive. E drive. It's a 200 GB disk. This is a 200 GB disk. Here, free space is also 200 GB. So I'm not going any other things. Okay. So here I created a virtual hard disk. In the virtual hard disk is fixed disk. This virtual hard disk is fixed disk. I created a fixed disk virtual hard disk. Size of the hard disk is, for example, 50 GB. So what happened inside a disk? Inside a disk, it actually contains the data is 10 GB only. Inside a disk, inside a disk, 10 GB data only is stored. 40 GB free. 40 GB free. So what happened? When I created this fixed hard disk with the 50 GB, it occupy this space in the 200 GB. So my free space in here means total space is 200 GB. Okay. Now I created a 50 GB fixed disk. So the what is the remaining size in my actual E drive? So remaining is 150 GB free space is there. So how much data you kept in that disk? It is a 50 GB disk. Maximum we can put a 50 GB only. Maximum we can able to put a 50 GB only. But when you put a whatever the data like maximum 50 GB, you put a 10 GB, 20 GB, 30 GB or 50 GB. But it will occupy when you create a virtual hard disk. It occupy in the starting only. It occupy 50 GB from this free in the disk. So once you check it, initially it is showing a 200 GB free space. Now it is showing 150 GB free space. This is a called a fixed disk. So we'll keep it like this only. So then next I will go to create one more disk that is called a dynamically expanding disk. Okay. So it is a dynamically expanding disk. Oh, it is a very big one. Expanding. It is a dynamically expanding disk. So I created a dynamically expanding disk. So I created a 50 GB disk. This is also 50 GB. Okay, 50 GB disk I created. So how much space it will occupy when I created a disk? When I created a disk, how much space it will occupy? Nothing. It is maximum. First is a 4 MB. Next become maximum size it will occupy. So starting 4 MB. Start with the 4 MB. Then later when I make it as what type of disk it is, GPT, MBR, file system creation. So it will keep on increase like maybe 16 MB, or maybe 160 MB, like that. It's small increasing file system defining and all. But starting is 4 MB only. Later it will increase. Later it is increase. Now what I done? So forget about that one. So what I'm telling it is I created dynamically expanding disk 50 GB. So what is my free space available? 150 GB free space available. Okay. So here 150 GB initially is available. Now I created a 50 GB. Okay, as per this one 150 is available, so I created a 50 GB dynamically expanding. What is the resultant? Of course for MBs will take very light, like a maximum 100 MB or 200 MB maximum. Okay, so we don't worry about it maximum. Okay, so I don't go with the small things. Approximately I will go, approximately means 149.5, like that. It is 149.2, 1.149.8. So that is thing, right? So approximately 150 GB free space is choice. What happened here? I create a dynamically expanding disk. So when I create a dynamically expanding disk, I have to get 100 GB free space, right? One after 150, 50 is done. So I should get 50 GB only. Instead of that, I get 150. How? Because when I create a dynamically expanding disk, it won't occupy any space. For example, I put a out of 50 GB, I put a 10 GB data inside. I put a 10 GB data in the dynamically expanding disk. What happened? This 10 GB will occupy from here. This 10 GB occupy from here. Okay. So what will happen here now? So we'll see that one. Okay. So now 140 GB free space is there. So understand the scenario. When I create a 50 GB, no problem, it's still 150 free space only. When I put a 10 GB, then it is become 140 free space. It means up to 50 GB we can able to put in the disk. First one is up to 50 GB we can put it in this disk. Up to 50 GB we can put it in the disk. But how much data you keep it in the dynamically disk, that much size only it will occupy. That much size only it will occupy in the disk space. In the disk space, in the 200 GB it will occupy 10 GB only. It won't occupy more than that one. For example, you increase it, you put a 20 GB instead of 10 GB is there earlier. Now 10 GB become 20 GB. Then what happened? 130 GB free space is 130 GB. The size of this disk will increases from 10 to 20. Total free space is like a 130 GB. Okay, earlier it is 140, this 10 become 20, it is 10 GB is increased, now 130 GB. Now you put a full data 50 GB, 50 GB completed, so the free space is available 100 GB only. Okay, so like this. Okay, like this is a dynamically expanding. Fixed disk means when you create with what size of the disk you want to create it, you can create it, but it will occupy in a starting only. But dynamically expanding, when you create this disk, so 50 GB disk if you create, it want to occupy 50 GB. Okay, still you have your free space. When you put a data based on that only, it will expand the size, and maximum size we can give up. So based on your disk size you define, like a 50 GB, 20 GB, 30 GB, like that. Okay, so here in this one, in my here, much slow my system is working today. OS drive having a 50 GB free space. H drive 50 GB, 150 GB I already occupied. Okay, E drive having 161 and H drive having 249 GB. 249 GB. Remember that one. This is already I created one disk here, VHDX. So it is maybe it is also dynamic disk. So I don't want to go to the anything. Just I will create a disk here. Okay, with the different names. I will create it two disks. One is fixed disk, another one is virtual disk. Both are in a VHDX format only. Drive is H drive. So H colon, or you can go to the browse and select the drive also. Like you select the folder or anything, no problem. Okay. So drive is H drive colon slash. So I want to put a disk name, right? So I put a disk name is uh, F uh, F disk. Okay, F disk 1 VHDX format. So better you can go to browse only. So browsing is that format style is won't affect. So that's a good one actually. So H drive. So already I have a V disk one. So then I put a F disk one. Fixed disk I'm creating or a 10 means 10 GB. F disk one. F disk 10. Save. Now extension also came up, right? Now I will create a 10 GB. 10 change it to GB. 10 GB disk. Fixed disk is a 10 GB disk. So what I done, VHDX, I select a VHDX and browse H drive, given a name, then I came back, I given 10 GB, GB wise. MB is there, TB is there, GB is there. I am creating 10 GB disk. Okay, 10 GB is a very big one. Sorry. 10 GB is a very big one. So better I will create 2 GB only. 2G. Creating 2 GB because 10 GB will take lot of time. The two in a fixed disk. Okay, and select the fixed disk. Got it? VHDX fixed disk 2 GB 2 GB disk dot VHDX location. I given name and location. Click OK. So what will happen? The disk will be create. It will take little bit time to create. Once it is created, automatically it will add it to here. And you can also see the difference between one disk to another disk, which is one is virtual also. We will identify with colors and all. So how I creating? So I go to the disk management. Okay. So by going like a DISKMGMT.MSC. Next, so action create VHD. Then what I selected, I choose H drive slash or browse. It is connected, guys. So I use F disk 2G dot VHDX format. So in the format I selected VHDX and I selected fixed disk. Okay, and also I told it's a 2 GB. Okay, it's a 2 GB format. This is what I done. Now automatically it is mounted. So we'll see here it is mounted. See, it is unknown 2 GB not initialized. It is a just empty one. Nothing is there. Now I'm going to my H drive. So this is a disk. It is created here. So you can see disk image file. So now it is occupied 2 GB. So I'm going to properties from here. The size of the file I want to see first. So 2 GB. The size of file is 2 GB. Okay. Next I'm going to a little bit one step back. Means this PC. So earlier it is showing a 249 GB free. Now it is showing 247 GB free. Means 2 GB occupied when I create the disk itself. That is called a fixed disk. Guys, this is concept why I am telling, taking time and telling virtual storage virtualization. In a storage virtualization, what we discuss in a storage, all the things are important. virtual hard disk, RAID, LVM. These are all comes under storage virtualization parts only. Okay, virtual hard disk is a one of the major thing. Okay, now where is my disk management? So can you see this is unknown disk, not initialize. Now I'm going to initialize it. Right click on it. You can see detach VHD offline and not initialize. Detach means if you don't want this VHD, you can remove it also. Okay, so I just it is a fresh disk. Already I told fresh disk. Ask for initialize the disk. So I click on initialize disk. Which one you want to create? MBR type of disk or a GPT type of disk? So you can use GPT or MBR anything, no problem. So like GPT disk. If you want MBR, we can convert into MBR. Convert into MBR. But once you create a partitions in this disk, so you cannot convert. For example, I'm creating a new simple volume, 2 GB disk, right? So 102420. I created a 1 GB volume. So you can see formatting. It's a primary only. We taken only 2 GB, so we can't create a more partitions here. And you can see the color between this physical disk to virtual hard disk. And if you right click, you can see detach VHD, but you can't see the convert into MBR and convert into dynamic. And this is a basic disk. If you see here a physical disk, you can't see that detached VHD because it's a physical disk. And you can see convert into dynamic, and but you can see convert into the GPT is also. You can see here it is convert into MBR. This is GPT disk. This is MBR disk. This is GPT disk again. Okay, again you want to convert it, you have to remove the partitions. So, okay, so this is VHD. And can we use this one? Like right click on iDrive, open. You can keep some data in this drive also. iDrive it is. I can keep some data. So I'm selecting few of the files. So I think this is enough. Okay, iDrive paste. Okay, I copy pasted some data. Okay, so be careful you are copying. See, it is a 1 GB partition. So I did create 2 GB also. I created 1 GB partition inside, and you are getting some data. It is already some data is there. And if you right click on it, you can also see eject, like a pen drive eject is also there, like that. So for this attaching this one, you don't need to do all extra things also, like eject. Okay, format eject options also there. You can eject it also from here. You can attach it from directly also. For example, you can detach a VHD from here. Okay, I'm detaching from here. I detached it. Okay, means I'm removing the disk. Now disk is removed. Now I'm going to back to my uh, thing. So automatically it changes to this one. See, the disk, the partition is gone. The iDrive is gone. Now if you want it, you can attach it from here. So go to the disk management. Okay, you can attach VHD. So attach VHD, browse, and select it from here. Open. When I attach, automatically when I attach it here. Okay, so I can't able to type all the steps, guys. So you have to write the steps. Okay, automatically it shows iDrive here. See, iDrive is there, and data is also there. Data also there means the drive has the data. Okay, like this. So I will tell you how to attach a disk also. in a dynamically. When I use the dynamic one, so I will show that step. So then it will reduce. Create a VHD again, VHDX, dynamically expanding. Selecting dynamically expanding. Again, I'm creating 10 GB disk, 10 GB. So you have to give the location. So browse H drive only. H drive only I'm creating. So it is a DE disk, means dynamically expanding disk. Just for a name sake only we are doing. Okay, that is what, how much I put, 10 GB, right? 10 GB. No problem. So it will create very quickly. So 10 G is enough. Save. Okay. So I am creating 10 GB disk. So fixed disk I created 2 GB because fixed disk 2 GB will take more time. But dynamic disk 10 GB will take very less time. This is I take more time, more 10 GB. VHDX, dynamically expanding. Click OK. Can you see it is created? Okay. So this one I put a GPT, but this one you can see initialize the disk. Which one you want? Like I want to see what is MBR. MBR. You can initialize anything, no problem. So when you initialize as MBR, it shows convert into GPT and detach VHD. Okay. So I created a disk, right? Disk is attached and initialized. So I forget that one. So I should not initialize without showing the size of that one. See, this is a size. Earlier it is a 4 MB only. Now it is increased to 36 MB. Properties of the disk. It is 36 MB only. Just I initialize. That's why it is increased. Initializing itself writes some data into that one without seeing that one. And also you can see 247. Still it is 247 only. Okay. I created 10 GB. So it's 10 to 37 should show, but it is not showing like that. Next. So I initialize it, but I didn't create a file system. So simple volume. I'm creating 2 GB 2048 MB Z drive. So one drive I created. So this is a one primary partition. It's a 2 GB only. System itself is slow. Actually, I want to do it in this machine, but it is showing black color. Power off. At least system will work faster. I need a server for a ride. We'll see the time. If time is not enough, then we'll go to a ride in tomorrow only. But we have a time. This VHD is also very important. Now I'm creating another simple volume to show you what is MBR. So 1024. I given wantedly 1020 earlier. Now yes. So what is the use of these VHDs? You can put some data inside. Two primaries, right? I will create third primary and extended also. This is 10 GB disk. Don't worry. Okay, I am creating another 1 GB 1024. When computers 95, 98 NT operating system time, 10 GB, 20 GB, 40 GB. If you are a very rich kid, then 40 GB disk is there. Okay, otherwise you can put up 240 GBs, right? Three primaries completed. It is MBR disk, remember. Now I'm going to create a simple volume. Volume is I'm creating maybe 1 GB again, 1024. So what will happen, we'll see. See, automatically it create a border. See this one, primary, primary, primary. Three primaries completed, but I didn't choose anything. But it automatically fourth one become extended partition. See, extended partition. I think you can able to see in the bottom. Unallocated primary partition, extended, free space, logical drive. So this is a logical drive. This is a primary partition. This is a logical partition or a logical drive. And this is 5 GB free space. This is unallocated, but not showing as a black color. It is showing as a this color. Okay, but it is given a thick green color border on this one and this one also. I can create more logical partitions inside of this one if I want it. So 1024. Okay, like this. Understand logical partitions and all. So of course we'll see the data we insert in this one. So open in a Z drive. I try to open Z drive. So this is a some 2 GB partition. Okay, so what I do, I have a data here. So whatever the data you can put it like this. This is our J drive. I keep the data. Okay, I create. I'm going to this PC. So like this. J drive, K drive, EL drive, M drive, N drive also there. Okay, and so J drive has some data. Okay, some small data it is there. Important is go to H drive. See the difference between this. This is actually 10 GB drive. The 10 GB drive is not occupying 10 GB space. We can put maximum data is a 10 GB, but we create a lot of partitions. That's a different point. But if you, it is a single partition. Like that. It is showing some space. If you put something like earlier, I created a file like 100 MB, 200 MB, it will increase. So I'm going to Z drive again. How to increase the data size? We need a big files to put it. Okay. What is the total size of these things? Guarantee around 80 MB like that it is. Properties. Yeah, 89 MB. So total 90 MB is there. So Control A, Control C. Put in a Z drive. Go to Z drive. Paste. Anybody remember how much of the total size of that is? In a Z drive, it occupy a little bit. So there is a difference. Get okay, almost like 100 MB size is occupied. Go to H drive. So now it is size is increased. Earlier it is showing something around 4 420 or 400 420 MB size is showing of this disk. Now it is increased to 516 MB. It means if you keep putting a data, the size of the disk is increases. The first one. Next. In when I'm telling about dynamic fixed disk, so that time I told how to detach a VHD, right? So we can attach a VHD and create a VHD, and we can detach a VHD from here. But I'm not detaching this one, so I want to tell different ways to dealing with this VHDs. So I'm going to my J drive, K drive, any drive. So see, look at the drives, right click, eject, eject. Just a right click and eject. That's it. Just a right click. It will take time because I done eject here. Um, this drives won't work. I click on eject. Okay, have you seen? I eject one partition, but all the partitions related to that virtual hard disk is ejected. Okay, I ejected only one partition. Now it is removed. The disk 3 is removed from here. Now how to attach it? Last time I showed attaching like this. Attach a VHD, browse and attaching it. But I will attach it directly from here. Okay, guys, be careful when you put any personal data inside of this one. If you put any personal data in this one, if you are using a Windows 7, no problem, direct attachment is not there. But if you are using Windows 8 or 10, okay, directly we can attach it by double click on it. So we have to secure it these things properly. So right click, mount is there, or you can double click on it, because mount is the first option. You can click on a mount, or you can able to double click on it. Just I double click on this VHD and I'm going to this piece. Oh, just double click. Okay, and wait, you will get this one automatically. See, all our partitions are came. Okay, automatically Z drive is also open. So like this is the data. I can put it in a J drive. So we'll see the drives. Okay, so that is the difference, and how to deal with a virtual hard disk also we discussed. Now what I want to do is this is a virtual hard disk. This is a virtual hard disk. So I'm detaching from this side. It's a little bit difficult to detach when you are detaching. So if any partition in the disk is busy, then it is. So this is how we can able to deal with a virtual hard disk virtualization. So if you see, and already I told one thing now. So when you create a virtual hard disk is a file in the disk space. So for this H drive, is a physical drive is a H drive. Okay, so this is the virtual hard disk. It's nothing but a file in the disk. It is a file in the disk. It is look like a file, but when you attach it, it's work like a hard disk. It is work like a hard disk. So normal hard disk, can we do partitions? Virtual hard disk, can we do partitions? We are doing it. Normal hard disk, can we store files? And virtual hard disk, can we store the files? We can doing it. But normal hard disk, when system is alive, we can't disconnect it. But virtual hard disk, when system is alive, also we can able to attach it and detach it also. Okay. So this is a thing about your virtual hard disk. Okay. So again, one second, last points I want to write down in a separately. Okay. So this is a complete practical. You have to watch it and do it. Okay. So I can't not typing everything here. So you can see you create a one virtual hard disk VHD hard disk. You can create it, no problem. VHD or VHDX, you can create it. Only thing is, if you are using more than 2 TB, you have to choose VHDX. Otherwise VHD or VHDX both are same. Because of new format level VHDX, I am using VHDX only. And people who want to do something on a like these things in a Windows 7, then they have a VHD. So no problem, you can do with a VHD also. Okay. See. So as I said, the hard disk is a file a disk, in a normal disk. File in a disk partition or a D drive, E drive. Okay, it's a file, right? We can attach virtual hard disk virtual hard disk. We can attach a virtual hard disk. We can detach virtual hard disk also. We can create a virtual hard disk. We can attach a virtual hard disk. We can detach virtual hard disk also. Okay, we can attach it. We can detach it also when system is running. So we can store data in virtual hard disk and store the data in virtual hard disk. We can put an operating system based on what virtualization we are using. We can put a OS in virtual hard disk. Okay, so virtual hard disk also possible. We can install OS in virtual hard disk. Okay, right? So this is the files. We can mount it and we can eject it. We can mount um, virtual hard disk and we can eject virtual. So these things we can able to do it. Okay, we can creating a virtual hard disk, attach a virtual hard disk, detach a virtual hard disk. We can partition the. We can do partition. We can do partitions in virtual hard disk. Okay, so these are the things. Okay, I think so. These are enough. I'm deleting these two things. If I don't delete, what happen? This is will be stays here only. Okay, so this is I don't know what it is there, but if you go to this is VMware files. VMware using VMDK. VMware using VMDK. Okay. Next, this is a virtual box. Oracle VM virtual box. Everything is very slow. Even I close one of the machine. I need a server. That's why I keep the server to show you right. So this is some virtual machine is there. Now just I'm going to setting of this virtual machine. DNS. Anybody having an idea what is DNS? Storage. This is VDI. Can you see this is the VDI virtual hard disk format. VDI virtual hard disk format. So here it is the disk format is VDI.
So you are not audible clearly.
I'm not audible.
Now you are.
Okay, okay. I think I put a hand on some mic or anything inside. Okay, okay. So VDI format is using by VMware. Sorry, Oracle Virtual Box. If you create new machine, so whatever the machine name, I'm not going to finish it anyway. Machine name, create a virtual hard disk now, new one. Okay, so okay. Oh, it is directly creating. Okay, so I'll create Win T11. Which operating system? Like this, Windows 10. Create. So you have to delete properly that time. So you can see VDI, and also it is support different disk formats also. VDI, virtual box disk image, VHD, virtual hard disk image, VMDK, virtual machine disk. So it's a meaning is that one. It's abbreviation. Like it will create VDI by default, VHDX. For example, you want to use both Microsoft wise as well as Oracle wise also, like Hyper-V or anything connected VHD format. Parallel disk dot HDD format as parallel disk means physical hard disk is connected to virtual machine. Okay, C QCOW QEMU copy and write. COW means copy and write. QED, so Q enhanced disk. QEMU enhanced disk type. So these are the different virtual hard disk types also available in the market. So cancel, cancel. Okay. So depends upon technology and all, different type of formats are there. So that's it.